Good afternoon, everybody. Big Mike back here with you once again. Welcome back to Big Mike Talks, where today I'm going to be talking about, I'm going to be giving you my results, the results for MLW Kings of Colosseum, plus a bit of a recap of both SmackDown, Rampage, and Collision. Definitely a very interesting collection of shows, so let's dive deep into this one. So we start with the results from Kings of Colosseum from MLW. We start off with 6-man tag team action players as Alec Price tags with Wasted Youth, that's Marcus Mathers and Dylan McKay, to take on Tony Deppen, TJ Crawford, and Griffin McCoy, in which the babyfaces win. And apparently they impressed really well, so going to be interesting to go back and watch that. Janai Kai defends her women's featherweight title against Hyper Misao. I am not super familiar with her, but apparently she did a little bike riding, so that's going to be interesting. The Second Gear Crew defend their tag team titles against the World Titan Federation, in which Second Gear Crew pick up the victory and defend their titles successfully. Although the combination for the World Titan Federation is interesting, it's Filthy Tom Lawler and Joshua Bishop. I am surprised that team didn't win. Anyway, Ricky Shane Payne successfully defends his openweight title in a Taipei death match against Akira, in which apparently Sami Callihan got involved, in which that's going to be interesting. Love Doug defeat Brett Ryan Gauntlet in a Love is Blindfold match, in which the participants are blindfolded. That's very 80s wrestling. Alex Kane successfully defends his MLW World title against Richard Holiday. I am very surprised Holiday came back to MLW. Good to see him back. And finally, our main event of the evening is Matt Riddle defeats Jacob Fatu via submission. Riddle is an MLW OG. He started out with the reboot, went to WWE for a bit, allegations against him, and now he's kind of touring the world a little bit. So, yeah, he's doing stuff in MLW again. He's doing stuff in New Japan, which is very interesting. So, yeah, keep your eyes open. MLW is doing some really good stuff these days. And if you haven't been tuning in, I believe they're going to be coming back this Thursday, because they just had tapings along with the pay-per-view. So, should be a fun one. Now that that's out of the way, we now go to WWE SmackDown, which is the New Year's Revolution episode, in which I want that pay-per-view name back. Like, that was a great pay-per-view name back in the day. Wish they would use it again. Anyway, so we start off SmackDown with a limousine arriving. Everyone thinking, oh, it's The Rock. It's actually Roman Reigns. He and Paul Heyman get out of the car. An interviewer rolls up. At first, I didn't hear what she was asking. There was some sort of audio issue. But then, you know, Roman just kind of laughs off The Rock's challenge. So, we don't really have an answer there, but I think there's something from Paul Heyman coming up. This next match is the finals of the U.S. title tournament, in which the winner takes on Logan Paul at the Royal Rumble. You got Kevin Owens taking on Santos Escobar. And who decides to show up for work? It's U.S. champion Logan Paul, who is on commentary. definitely some interesting stuff to go forward. Humberto Carrillo and Angel Garza are at ringside, but they get taken out by Santos Escobar's old family, the LWO. That's Cruz del Toro and Joaquin Wilde. And then, yeah, this singles match was pretty dang good. Kevin Owens pretty much selling his leg injury. Santos Escobar constantly attacking from all angles. Santos does go for the moonsault, but he misses right into a stunner from KO to pick up the victory. Now Logan Paul gets up from commentary, pretty much says, "Hey, congratulations, Kevin. You get the honor of facing the greatest U.S. champion in WWE history. And while you're out here sweating your butt off, I'm here barely breaking a sweat defending my title, even though he hasn't defended it since he won it." Then he goes through how he doesn't think a Canadian can win the U.S. title, and then he compares Kevin Owens to the Canucks, which is, that's a little, and then Kevin Owens just a straight right to Logan Paul's jaw, knocking him out. Then we see Logan Paul, being helped to the back by one of the ring crew. He's looking for the infirmary. In comes Waller and Theory trying to help him out. And Cameron Grimes is like, you deserve that. Theory then kind of pushes Cameron Grimes a little bit. So I think we're getting a match between these guys soon. It's going to be fun. Then we get a promo from Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits, calling 2023 a little personal, the toughest year in our career, but the highlight is teaming up with the Street Profits, in which I think the Profits need a new name. Like, overall, this stable needs a team name. Anyway, he continues, we're going to be putting in the work, and in 2024, we're all going to be draped in gold. And we're going to fast forward to greener pastures. Street Profits call out Judgment Day, which I'd be down for that. Bobby Lashley declares himself for the Royal Rumble, so that should be a fun one. Then all of a sudden, lights go out. The message from Karrion Kross plays. I didn't really catch it. But then out on the stage, out comes Karrion Kross, Scarlett, and the return of Paul Ellering on the stage. Then behind the Profits and Lashley, the Authors of Pain arrive and they start beating them down. Kross comes into the ring and joins in. Super Collider for the Street Profits. I love that finishing move. That's a great finisher for these two. And then a weird power slam DDT thing from Kross onto Lashley. So, yeah, we get a new stable. That's great. I'm super happy the AOP are back. Are they super workers? No. But I think they're going to help Kross a hell of a whole lot. Because I think these guys are going to make magic together. Alright, next up, we got the WWE Women's title on the line, as Mia Yim takes on Io Sky. And while the rest of Damage Control do come out, Io's pretty much like, yeah, I'm going to do this myself. And yeah, they had a nice, well-paced, well-thought-out bout, which sadly did end with an over the moonsault by Io. Sadly, I love Io Sky. She's great. But yeah, Mia Yim put on a hell of a show. Hopefully they keep Mia Yim at a high enough level so we can see her challenge again someday. And then we get a little promo from Paul Heyman, in which he brings up what happened on Raw, in which The Rock showed up and pretty much name dropped Roman Reigns. Pretty much says, Rock, you want to sit at the head of the table. You weren't invited to the party. And you're just like everyone else. You just want to take shortcuts to get headlines. So far, Roman Reigns has beaten everyone. Everyone wants to take their shot at the man, including CM Punk, who's an OG Heyman guy. He's made some upgrades. Well, tonight, Styles, Knight, and Orton have the privilege to fight to be smashed by Roman Reigns at the Rumble. And no one on the face of the planet can beat Roman Reigns. Nice, interesting little promo acknowledging, funny, what The Rock said on Raw. Going to be interesting to see where this goes. A lot of people are saying this match is going to go down at an Elimination Chamber, in which, I don't know. It's something I'll talk about another time. Then we get Damage Control backstage. They're celebrating with Io Sky. Bayley brings up, look, this is just first step of our plan. Io has the world title. Kabuki Warriors, that's Asuka and Kairi Sane, you get a tag team title shot, and the plans just keep coming together. And I'm going to declare myself for the Royal. Actually, she's already in the Rumble. Then in comes Bianca Belair, who pretty much says, look, I'm not here to fight. I just want to congratulate the champion. But Bayley, you're not winning the Rumble this year because I'm declaring myself for the Rumble. I'm going to win it, and I'm going to take back my title that you stole. And I'm going to get back my title. Bianca walks off. Then Dakota says, Bayley, it's about time you took care of Bianca. So, we'll see what happens there. Next up, tag team match. It's Pretty Deadly take on Butch and a mystery partner who turns out to be former British Strong Style stablemate Tyler Bate. And it's great to finally see him on the main roster. It's a bit sad he didn't get a big a pop as he should have, because he should be a big deal. Throughout the match, he did win the crowd over, especially for the airplane spin. Which, that's funny as heck. And yeah, Bate and Butch won with the double Tyler Driver 97 to pick up the win. And yeah, this is definitely something I think Butch needed. And by the way, Triple H, let's change it back to Pete Dunne. Butch isn't working. Anyway, so backstage we see Nick Aldis on the phone. Someone walks into the office, and apparently it's Ashante the Adonis, formerly known as, formerly of Hit Row, in which, the two other members are pretty much gone. And he pretty much says, look, I've been losing all the time on SmackDown lately, but don't feel sorry for me. It's just making me more hungry. I just need an opportunity. I hate that phrase. Can we leave needing an opportunity in 2023? Anyway, so Nick Aldis responds, look, I've always believed in you. I don't feel bad for you. That's why I want to go over some stuff. I got some ideas for you. So it looks like we're getting something from Ashante the Adonis coming soon, which, yeah, dude definitely needs something else. And now we go to our SmackDown main event, and it's for the number one contendership for the WWE title at Royal Rumble. As we got AJ Styles taking on LA Knight. Yeah! and the Viper, Randy Orton. And honestly, this match was really entertaining. It wasn't the usual, 2-man in, 1-man out type of triple threat. Everyone kind of cycled in, and it felt like a more natural build. Orton eventually does get the RKO. However, before he could get the pinfall, out comes the Bloodline. Solo and Jimmy attack pretty much everyone. Pretty much jumping all the participants, including a couple of Superman punches and a spear to LA Knight. And then Solo and Roman with a spear Samoan Spike combination. But then we get Nick Aldis, who has been sitting ringside for this match, goes up to Paul Heyman, pretty much says, "Look, congratulations, you're not getting the Rumble off. Because of Roman's actions tonight, it's going to be a fatal 4-way at the Rumble," in which, bit of a convoluted way to get there, but, I'm okay with the triple threat at fatal 4-way at Rumble. And it's going to give these guys some spotlight. And maybe a story going into the Rumble itself. So that was SmackDown. We now move right into AEW Rampage, which we start off with trios action as Mark Briscoe teams up with Matt and Jeff Hardy to take on Butcher, Blade, and Kip Sabian. And while the match was fine, there was really nothing much to it, especially when Matt and Jeff came in the ring. No offense, I have mad respect for those two still, but I think they're pretty much gone by their sell-by date, if you know what I mean. Including Jeff completely whiffing on a Poetry in Motion, which, oh god, that is so sad to see. Finish comes with a twist of fate from Matt, a swanton bomb from Jeff, and a froggy blow from Mark Briscoe for the team to get the win. Match itself was fine. It's so sad to see the Hardy Boys in such disarray, I hope nothing but the best from them. We'll see what happens in the future. We then go to a backstage interview with Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara. Sammy's pretty much like, "Look, our team got the big win at the pay-per-view this past week, but now, Ricky, you and I go one-on-one in Daly's place. We've got a lot alike with each other. We both overcame a lot, but only one of us can win on Wednesday. We'll see you at Dynamite." So, nice little short and sweet promo from the Inner Circle. That's what I'm just going to call them. We then go to former JAS members, in which Anna Jay pretty much says, "Look, I've been feeling stagnant for a while. It's time for a change out there for me. And tonight, I just want to beat Hikaru Shida on my own." So she leaves. In comes Harley Cameron, which, alright, interesting. She pretty much says, "Look, I know you all are in a bit of a rut, but I know a way I can help everyone." She then goes into Matt Menard's ear, pretty much said something dirty. And Matt's like, "Oh, you do that for me?" So it looks like Harley Cameron is going to be playing Mrs. Steal Your Man from Ruby Soho, in which, fine, I guess. I don't know. Weird storyline. Next up, we got a tag team action as Willow Nightingale, teaming with Chris Statlander, takes on Notorious Mimi and Hardcastle. I did not get her first name. I do apologize. Now, before the match, someone interesting does make the announcements for Willow and Statlander, and that's, God, I forget the dude's name. The dude that's been with, like, Jade Cargill and all of them. Stokely Hathaway. That's his name. And he does enthusiastically for Statlander, but then for Willow Nightingale, he just does the bare minimum. So we got something with Stokely Hathaway and Statlander? I don't know, man. This match was basically an extended squash. Mimi and Hardcastle did get some stuff in, but ultimately, after a mule kick and a spine buster from Willow, your winners, Chris Statlander and Willow Nightingale. And as the ref is raising both their arms, Stokely comes in, enthusiastically raises Statlander. Then Willow Nightingale kind of pushes him out of the way. So, we'll see what happens there. So, yeah. Next up, we got a backstage interview from the Hardy Boys, saying they just got a big old win with Mark Briscoe. We've been a boost to Dynamite's ratings. But before they can continue, in comes Private Party, in which the Hardys acknowledge that they called them out in their return promo. And then they say, if you love something enough, you gotta let it go. There's no more Hardy Party. But we're gonna give you a parting gift. And they give them Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy AEW shirts. So, yeah, this is gonna be an interesting little feud. Next up, we got Alan AJ versus Hikaru Shida in what was a very, very good matchup. Really good back and forth from each other. Shida with the Falcon Arrow, but that only gets a 2 count. Shida with the Meteora and the Katana to get the win. And then we get backstage in which Jeff Jarrett, Karen Jarrett, Satnam Singh, Sanjay Dutt, and Jay Lethal are having a little sit-down meeting. In which Sanjay Dutt reveals, I've booked us a tag match for next week. We're gonna get each other on the same page. Jay Lethal stands up and is like, whoa, guys, I don't need any of this anymore. I don't want a team. It's the last thing I wanted. Then Jeff Jarrett gets in Jay Lethal's face and pretty much says, look, how many wins did you get in the Continental Classic? That's what I thought. So let's get this train back on the tracks and let's go pick up a win. And then Jay Lethal just kind of walks off. So, yeah, we'll see what happens with this squad. I do think Jay Lethal would be a bit better off on his own. And final up for Rampage, we got the Ring of Honor Pure title on the line, as Wheeler Yuta defends against Commander. And I'm going to say this, Wheeler Yuta goes for his usual technique, where he forces his opponent to use all the rope breaks. Commander counters that pretty much easily, not easily, but pretty well. Like, usually he's the high-flying luchador. He doesn't have a bad ground game either. Like, he goes for a couple of crossfaces, gets Yuta to spend a couple of rope breaks. But after the hammer and anvil elbows into the armbar, your winner, still Ring of Honor Pure Champion, Wheeler Yuta. And I'm going to say that this maybe shouldn't have been the main event. Like, it was exciting enough, but I feel like maybe Shida and Anna Jay should have gone on last. That's just me, though. Overall, Rampage was alright. It's definitely not the must-see viewing it once was, but I'll keep up with it as best I can. And that brings us to AEW Collision, and we kick it off with Darby Allin and Sting taking on the Workhorsemen. And before the bell rings, the Workhorsemen jump Sting and Darby Allin at ringside, which, pretty smart to do. Workhorsemen get their stuff in, but ultimately Sting and Darby come back, including a massive Code Red, a Stinger Splash, and a Scorpion Death Drop for Sting and Darby Allin to pick up the win. It was definitely a quick match, but I do understand why. But, I'm really interested to see what the Workhorsemen do from here. Next up, we got the Continental Crown Championship on the line as Trent Beretta takes on Eddie Kingston. And this was pretty much technique versus power, because, Eddie Kingston definitely threw his power around, including busting open Trent. He was bleeding throughout this match. Really, really good back and forth until Kingston hits the spinning back fist into the brain buster to pick up the victory. We then go backstage for a Chris Statlander Willow Nightingale interview, in which they were asked about Sky Blue. Pretty much saying, oh, you noticed that too, huh? 2024, we're going to keep focusing on our Heart Start as a tag team. And we're going to keep that momentum going. And we're two of the best wrestlers in AEW. So, it does look like we're going to be getting a women's tag division soon, in which that could be fun. We then get a video promo from Hook, who is in the Red Hook section of Brooklyn. Pretty much calls out Samoa Joe, in which that's very, very surprising. We'll see what happens with the FTW title, but Hook versus Joe. Not something I'd think about, but here we are. Next up, we got a Proving Ground match, and it's for a potential shot at the Ring of Honor Tag Team titles. You got Matt Bennett and Mike Taven. No. Mike Bennett and Matt Taven of the Kingdom, aka the Undisputed Kingdom, taking on Commander and Brian Keith. Brian Keith, relative newcomer to AEW, has pretty much gotten his start in wrestling in DPW, in which, if you haven't seen Deadlock Pro Wrestling, I'd say go check it out. This match was a lot of fun. The high flying from Commander was obviously good, but then Brian Keith bringing the power, that was awesome. Ultimately, that was for naught, as we get a powerbomb flatliner combination from the Kingdom to pick up the win. We then go backstage with Switchblade Jay White and the Guns for a backstage interview. Pretty much saying, oh, no, we don't have any sort of working relationship with the Acclaimed. We're going to take down the Devil ourselves. But then in walks the Acclaimed, who pretty much says, hey, our ears were burning. Were you talking about us? Switchblade then says, look, this is none of your business. This is Bullet Club business. And we'll handle it, and we're going to finish it ourselves. And Anthony Bowens chimes in. He says, alright, let's calm it down. But I've had a crazy idea. I've thought about it for the last 5 days. And we've learned the only way to get by in AEW is in factions. And I want you guys to think about it. and then Bullet Club Gold walk off. So a Bullet Club Gold and Acclaimed team? That's going to be interesting. We then get a promo from Sir Adam Copeland, aka Edge. And he pretty much says, Christian Cage and I at World's End beat the bleep out of one another. But if you haven't forgotten, as a former champion, he did technically win the title. I get a rematch. And while you say I've been handed opportunity after opportunity, the real issue is I work harder than you. And you're on your hands and knees kissing you should be on your hands and knees kissing Killswitch's ass. And you want me to earn a title shot? Fine. I'm going to earn it. And I'm going to start tonight. And I'm going to issue an open challenge to anyone who's willing to step up. In comes Maria Kanellis, Griff Garrison, and what's the... I want to say it's Garrison Cage, but that's not his name. With Griff Garrison getting in the ring, saying, yeah, I'm going to be the one to step it up. And let's do it. Then Griff, with an open hand slap to Adam Copeland's face, and ding ding ding, it's on. We get Griff Garrison versus Adam Copeland, in which I thought this was going to be like a 2-minute squash match. It turned into a really entertaining match, with Copeland putting over Griff Garrison's attacks, but ultimately a Impaler DDT, and then a crossface type move to pick up the win via submission. And honestly, I think that's pretty dang cool. Copeland winning by submission. You don't see that every day. Post-match, Cole Carter attacks Adam Copeland, but Copeland immediately gets in, gets the advantage, hits a spear to send the boys home happy. We then get a promo from Ric Flair, Sting, and Darby Allin, talking about the Stinger's retirement tour, how it continues at Daly's place against the Don Callis family. Sting calling Darby Allin the best tag team partner a guy could ask for. But the next stop is Daly's place, the place where I debuted for AEW, in which that is absolutely insane. And I'm not just going to be cruising to the finish. Don Callis family. Next week, it's showtime. Which, it's definitely nice to hear that kind of energy from Sting again. He's definitely been showing that in the ring, but, that level of promo, I've definitely missed it. Next up, a very kind of out of nowhere matchup as Sky Blue takes on Kiara Hogan in a decent little matchup in which Sky Blue wins via the sleeper hold, which don't see that every day. Next up, we got a nice Serena Deeb vignette teasing her return. Definitely going to be good to see her come back. Next up, we got the Giant, the 7-footer, Andrew Everett. That's a joke. Taking on Claudio Castagnoli in what was a kind of one-sided match, but Everett did get some stuff in, but ultimately, after a big swing into a neutralizer, your winner, Claudio Castagnoli. Definitely more filler match than anything else, but ultimately, I had fun with it. And we get a Big Bill Ricky Starks backstage interview with Ricky pretty much saying, everyone in Jacksonville has been awaiting my return. I had my in-ring AEW debut against Cody Rhodes for the TNT title. Now I'm going into Jacksonville with the tag team titles. and Sammy, this is going to be our first AEW singles match. Yet we do have all this history between us. But that all goes out the window next week when I beat you. And then Big Bill chimes in. Jericho, I hope you're going to be there next Saturday. Because at Battle of the Belts, it's going to be you two versus us two for the tag team titles in a street fight. I have completely forgot about Battle of the Belts. Ultimately, that event feels pointless. Like, I'm sorry to say that, but it's I don't see a point to these things anymore. Anyway, next up, our main event for the evening, as it's the House of Black, that's Buddy Matthews and Malachi Black, taking on Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler of FTR. And if FTR loses, they have to join the House of Black. And, ooh, the drama, the near falls. This was just about the most perfect match you could put on between these two guys. These four guys. Near the end of the match, Brody King does come out, but surprisingly, out comes Daniel Garcia with a steel chair, hitting Brody King out of the way. Dax Harwood with the roll-up to pick up the victory for FTR. In post-match, House of Black jump FTR and Garcia from behind as they're celebrating. Bunch of chair shots to everyone, including a black mass from Malachi to Dax. And yeah, that's how Collision goes off air. House of Black looking strong, and FTR and Daniel Garcia having a new alliance. So I'm going to say this. Garcia with FTR definitely sounds more like Garcia trying to get back to being a pro wrestler instead of a sports entertainer. Which, I mean, pick a more perfect combination of guys to get taught from. I think that's an underrated trio. And with them still potentially feuding with House of Black, could lead to some fun interactions. And yeah, that is it for me. I hope you guys all enjoyed. Please like the video, comment down below what your favorite match or moment from this combined week of pro wrestling was. And I hope you all have a very good day. Till next time, happy wrestling, everybody. Peace.